Hello, I'm Michael Jackson. Thanks for being with us once again here on Tissueworld TV, being brought to you from Tissueworld in Milan. I'll be bringing you the very best of the guests from the conference over 3 action-packed days here in Milan at our Tissueworld for 2019. And no stranger to conference TV by any means whatsoever is one of my favorite presenters. He's always here every year, he always gives us an economic outlook, and he's always positive. Esko Uutela, now from Fast Markets Risi, because your company has rebranded. Esko, what a pleasure to have you in the studio once again.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael.
I love it. Now, you spoke this morning, as you always do, on the state of the tissue markets worldwide. What's the news? What's the skinny?
Well, I think it's still the same message what I have had in the past few years. So the market is doing well.
Yeah.
We have, let's say, more and more emerging markets which are really driving the growth. This means not only China, also other Asian countries, Latin America, and even what we have seen very recently. What's going in Africa? There are some countries are coming up even in Africa. And if you think about the global population base, that's good news for the tissue industry. So
sure,
there's so much population still not using tissue globally. It's having a lot of potential. So it may not happen in all countries. We have good examples of that. So like India. So I have almost. I have said that there's no hope in India with this issue, but okay, it's coming, but very, very gradually.
One of the key factors with emerging markets that I'm always keen to look at is the fact that the populations there relative to Europe or America are very young in terms of people's age. Now surely not only are they emerging, but also they've got a long life ahead of them coming up as well. That shows you good potential growth for all emerging markets, really.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And I think that the second issue is that people everywhere in the world are starting to understand this hygienic standards improving generally. I have to say economic development is one part of that, which is helping to doing that, but not only that. So I think there is all this social media also what's going on worldwide. And those, let's say, emerging markets, they are very advanced in many times in that. So they have stepped some phases over, so to say, what we used to have in Europe or North America. So they are more aware of what's going on and how the life should be, and they are trying to do that. And one of those issues is to improve the living in all ways, which also includes improving hygiene.
I get that, and I think it's an amazing thing. I mean, you mentioned that the numbers were up for the industry.
Yeah.
And I think you said on stage, is it 3.5% the industry's up this year over last year?
3.8 actually last year.
3.8. Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at that now, GDP in Europe as a whole is less than 2%.
Yeah.
You know, GDP in China is 6%, 6.8%, and that's slowed down a bit. But 3.8% for any industry is very good growth, isn't it?
And the main issue is that it's also a very steady growth. It's not really going up and down so much as in some other businesses.
It's just continuing to build out.
Continuing, yeah.
The
only year when we really saw that was 2009 when we had this global recession. So then it was not, but even then this year globally was growing.
And what intrigues me is a lot of the speakers before you on day one here at the conference had spoken a lot about changing technology in terms of a globalized approach, not only, as you've mentioned, social media and emerging new consumers. How much is digitization really affecting our industry right now in your perspective?
I think in the tissue industry, the main issue is maybe what will happen with retailing and everything what's going on there. So I was surprised when Magnus was saying that wind are selling 35% online, and that's not a small quantity of tissue, it's more than 1 million tons.
That's a lot of tons, yeah.
We are not having that globally, so even in North America, I think only about 5% is sold online. We have some in Europe, so I'm also doing that partly so myself. But I mean, it's still coming. But I think that's maybe one of those challenges companies also will have, how to do that. So how to adapt the marketing issues with this kind of new things going on.
The new customer, the new style of emerging environmental issues.
It's going everywhere. So I mean, like we know that some companies which are very advanced in marketing, like Procter & Gamble in the United States, their budget for marketing budgets, they are using more and more for the social media, and very personalized messaging to people.
Yeah, as
Doesn't matter
Magnus,
which-
as
yeah,
Magnus Gross
yeah,
said from
yeah,
SAT as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
10% a year of their
Yeah,
budget being
yeah,
shifted
yeah,
every
yeah,
year towards
yeah.
more social media advertising.
And that's one of maybe those issues. I mean, we have in industry, we have some new things also going on, like on the technological side, like those structured or textured tissues. But I mean, that's the technology side.
Yes.
I think what's going on the
The human side.
Human side. So that's even more important, and that's maybe the main change. What I see, for that reason, what was said this morning. So on everything. So I was actually very happy to hear that, because people seem to have understood that.
And we're going to look to a lot more of that change by Tissue World
Yeah.
2020.
Most likely, yes.
I look forward to discussing that
yeah.
with you then as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Esko,
yeah.
Uutela, thank you so much for
Okay.
being with us, sir. An absolute
Thank you, Michael.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thanks,
visiting us
thanks.
in the studio
Thanks,
once again.
thanks.